After $1,131, my week just got better. Okay, a lot has progressed since the last video. The block itself is over by the door, ready to go out. I've stripped it all down. There's nothing left to take off. I brought the heads, put the heads up here. I've taken all the soft plugs out, all the extra bolts, all the pipe plugs in here. There's nothing left to take out except the valves. Before I pop these valves out, I'm going to do what they call a water test. This is the chamber here where the piston comes up and fires, firing chamber here. Okay, I'm going to inject water in these holes here, and you're going to, because I'm going to put the camera there, and you're going to watch the holes. We're going to make sure that no water comes out of these valves. And if so, then it just tells me that cylinder, those valves are bad, and I'm going to lap them anyway, but I just want to make sure that I have good seats. We're going to do this on both sides. So this is going to be the exhaust, so that's going to be the one piston, or the one valve. Then we're going to inject water on the other side, and it'll be the bigger valve for the intake, for the air. So I got light here for you. So we're just going to shoot a whole bunch of water in here. I got some suds in there too, just for fun. Gotta have suds. Okay, so it's like puddling there. See it dripping? Look at that. See? I didn't even finish that test. There we go. Just gonna move along here. It's almost ready to run out. There's that one. Not that I'm going to drip any water. Okay, so now you're going to see a little shaking, but I'm going to take you off the stand so you get to go over and see what's going on. Okay, so you come underneath. Okay, so that exhaust valve needs some work on it because it's leaking air, which means you're losing compression. It's still dripping. And you want to see my water level? There's my sudsy water level right there. 2. It's there. And then there's suds in there. Okay. So then we come back. Here's my dripping valve here. We're looking at this one right here, the little one. Okay, here's the next cylinder. Nothing dripping. Next one. Looks nice and dry. Get out of the way. Let's change it around here. We're looking at the little one on your left. So we see nothing there. So all those are good except for this last one here that's dripping. Okay, so now we're going to shoot water into this big one. We're going to need 2 hands, so I'm going to put you back on the stand. There, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. All right, here we go. Back. Come on, let go. What do we got here? All right. So there's our first one. So is that water? Yep, it's bleeding right out the side of that intake valve. Yep, that sure is. So that head had a lot of problems. So now we go into the second head, which is this one right here. That one. I so much hate this light. It's just totally useless for anything. Okay, so we think, now this one here, look at it's bleeding as well. Some of that water's coming out of the where I spilled it, but we're looking at the actual rim of the valve, so that's bleeding too. And then this one here, that'd be the last cylinder. That one looks good. So this cylinder had some intake problems, and then the last one was definitely had some problems. Okay, so that's the water test. If you had doubts about rebuilding it and lapping the valves, so if you're going to reuse the valves, it's probably a good idea to lap them anyway, but it wouldn't be really necessary if there wasn't leaking. So if it's leaking water like this, it's going to leak compression. It's not going to be running well. So that's the water test on this head. So let's get over here. Man. Shaking a little bit. That was me. Let me come over here. Look how wet this thing is. See, you're leaking. I'm going to the other side. That one's just crying away. We take our stupid ass light. This over here. See, it doesn't shine exactly where you want it to. It just goes right in your eyes. That's all it does. Okay, same thing, it's crying on. And the last cylinder, same thing. In fact, while it's pouring in, you can see all the water. So yeah, definitely it failed the water test. Come on. All right, so now I'm just going to pop these valves out, and I'll lap them when I get the heads back. So what I'm going to do is... So this is the last and final thing that I've done as far as the disassembly, and then I'll go ahead. There's a block over there. Okay, this is a head, and I still got one more head to do over there. So I went ahead and pulled the valves out. The smaller one's your exhaust. The bigger one is your intake. This is air in. This is air out. Okay. So if you remember from the water test yesterday, I had some water seepage. These things are crying. So I want to show you. Let me get a pointer here. Good, nice pointer. Okay. So this is what you've seen is the face of the valve. On the back side of it, this is the seat right there. Okay. See that shiny ring right on the edge? And let's just put it down here. Okay, so that shiny part right there, okay, that's the seat. That's where it actually seals down. Okay, so then on the face, you'll see the shiny portion here. This is where you were getting a good contact, and there was a good seal all the way around. On the exhaust, if you'll see how it's dark, okay, that's where fire, compressed air, hot, fire it's all getting through here, so it's actually burning this seat. Okay, these crystals here, these are not crystals, these are aluminum shavings. Here's some here. Okay, got a whole bunch of, remember when I tore this apart, I said I felt grit in that part, I felt like sand. Well, that's that. That's the grit that I'm feeling, is that aluminum shavings right there. Okay, so anyway, this is what I'm going to repair when I get the heads back, is these seats here. Okay, and then this is the face, the left side of it here. Okay, see how it's all burned? Okay, it's not shiny as this one is. Let's put them side by side so you can see. Okay, there's your good seal, then there's that one there, it's burned. Okay, so this one here needs work. So that's what I have to do. I'm taking these out because this is gonna run $500 if I have the machine shop do these. So I'm gonna go ahead and lap these myself. I might even replace these, I'm not sure. So let's put this back where I got them. It's always good to mark where they come from. Okay, here's this is an exhaust I wanted to show you as well. Again, it's burned all the way through it, and there's its hole. Not as shiny as that one. Then here's this one here. This one was leaking. It's all crystals, shavings. I ain't worried about that. They're gonna rinse these things out anyway. All right, so there it is. But all that water that we spilled out on these heads, this once the water dried, that's what it left was, you know, aluminum crystals all over the place. All right, so where the valve went? It was number 7. Pow. Okay. This is so when I want to look at one particular head, I can actually pull its valve and I know exactly which one I'm looking at. That's it. Anyway, so this is pulling the valves out, and I've got to do that head yet, and then I'm going to go ahead and load them up in the car because there's nothing else to do with these. All right. This is not an advertisement, but I just want to let you know this is what I found on Temu. That was just kind of fun. So anyway, remember I explained to you, put your valves in cardboard, okay, so you can keep them in order. Well, I seen this, and this is what I got. It's kind of a toy. I do want to adjust something here, because if you see, the valves just come right out. So if I was to bump these, then they're lost in space. So I just need to find a way to secure this so it's more of a drop in than a slide in. Other than that, this is gonna help me count, make sure that I've got my keepers, my valve seals, and everything ready to go. So anyway, like I said, it's not an advertisement. I just want to let you know that that's kind of a cool, cute little thing. Okay, bye. Okay, so on January 20th, I took the engine to the machine shop, and I took it to Ridge Engine Machine Shop Repair, and that's their address. In case you're in the local Toledo area and you want to do any work there, yes, I would recommend. They did excellent work, and here's the date I received the bill. This means, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I got my engine back within a day. So totally awesome. $1,131 and out the door. And they itemize everything they do, and then they have me go through everything on the engine and make sure it was all done. So we have President Trump, and we have our engine back. So here she is. She's still wrapped in plastic. I'll unveil it here shortly. And up here are the valves. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it's the heads. Okay. I had them sandblasted. They took 12 thousandths off the face. Okay. They checked them. I water test them, but they checked them, and everything seemed to be fine here. I did the valve check today, the rattle test. That seemed to be fine. That's what we're going to do now. And let's go ahead and unveil this here. So let me grab my super cool knife. And let's go ahead and rip this open. Yeah. I've only seen a corner of it. I didn't need to see the whole thing. So we're gonna see all this together. Okay. So they honed all the cylinders. These are all cool. They didn't need to be bored at all. Okay, they checked the deck, and this was all cool. All right. They didn't have to machine any of that. And then pressure tested. They checked for cracks, and so this block is ready to go to work. Okay, so we'll get on to this one here shortly. Not today. But yeah, today this is what we're going to do is we're going to get into these valves. So let me get set up and I'll be right back. Okay, so now we pick this back up. So now the valve is still in this port. Okay, and now the hose, I push this right onto the end of it like this, and this is your setup. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so now it's on there. The only action you're going to do is you're going to be moving this back and forth like this. Okay, so when that's happening on this end here, your lapping material is going to be on those two seams, or on those two seals, and you're just going to be pop it like this while it's spinning. What I do is I got a socket as a thimble, and I'll put that in the center of the valve, and then as it's working, I'll be riding along with it. So I push the valve in, and then the drill pushes it back out. So as it spins, it's just doing this, okay? And that's what you're gonna be seeing. You're gonna be on a different camera. I got you raised up a little bit, but that's the procedure that I'll be using. I got the valve grinding compound I'll be putting on here. I got to put some oil in the shaft there first. I'm not gonna spin it dry, and then I'll just stick this on. Okay, so I'm not holding this tool up all the time. If it's not going to get wild on me, I could just turn off the trigger. I'm good to go. So let's change cameras and show you what goes on. Okay, so I have the valve in the port. Okay, I put oil on it, just regular motor oil, just a couple of dabs. Okay, I've got two kinds of valve grinding compound. This is just by Permatex here. This is by Ball Camp. This is the old stuff, but it doesn't rot, so it still works. So it's just what I use here, and I'll probably use my old stuff first. And then the difference is this is a coarse, and then this is fine. There's not much left of the fine stuff, but that's enough to do the job. So after I go through and make sure all the seats are good with the coarse, I'll go back and just do them all on the fine, just to kind of polish them up. Okay. The other attempt I want to do is the glue stick. I seen it done. I want to try it myself. I want to see if it's better than this. But you melt this on here, and then you just do that. I want to try that next. Okay. So here we go. I'll take this. I have power. I'm good. Okay. I just wiggle there on. Okay. That's what I'll do. Thimble. It's going to sit on the center. This way it doesn't burn a finger or anything like that. That's what I'll be doing. Okay. Of course. Screwdriver. So it only needs to go on the seat itself. It doesn't need to go all the way down on the neck or the stem, because it's not going to do you any good there. So I'm going to just put it there, pop. Okay. Take a look at it. Come on. There we go. Look at it real quick. Okay, let me check. All right, so these edges are cut on a 45. These are a 45 as well. So I went through and I cleaned all these edges up. I made sure that each one was still on a 45. Okay, I could slide it in there, and you go against the light, and I could actually look through here to see if, you know, if it's less or greater than 45. Okay, so I did that with all my valves, all 16. So we're going to go with some more here. So as you're doing it, you can hear the when you first start, you can hear all the granular portions of the compound. You can hear that doing its job. Then after a while, it starts to thin out. This means it's just spinning off of the surface. It's no longer doing any good. Get off. Great. Let's see if you can see this here. I don't know if you can or not. Okay, so that black line here, it was shiny. So this black line is where it's actually starting to work. Okay, so I'll get a nice, I'm looking for a nice dull surface right here. Okay. a drop. Just a drop. Okay, let's do this here. This is not a fast process. You can't be in a hurry for this. So that ring is getting whiter now. So that's a good thing. Over there and show you guys. I'm hoping the camera will pick it up. Okay. So now you see the shiny part here, that's where it's not being in contact. Then you got like an 1/8 of an inch strip right there that's dull. Okay. And that's right on the edge. Okay. This is the part that sticks out. There's no contact whatsoever on this. Alright, but that's the surface I'm looking for right there. So if I spin that around, that's a nice continuous dull circle. So that's where the steel seat, and this is actually coming in contact. Wider the better. But it's only going to be as wide as that seat is ground. So that's good. So at that point there, this one I'm going to leave alone. I'm going to come back and clean it up. So now I'm going to come back with the finer polish. Clean it up. I like that Permatex a little bit better. So let me grab and put this back in here. Again, here's your intake. Okay, same principle. Gonna oil her back up. Stick her in her hole. Spin her around. There we go. Connect this up. Boom. See, and if you do get tired, I mean, because it's a rubber hose, you can be a little bit more flexible. It's not going to go anywhere. All right. Bring this out. A little bit there. Spin around. Spread it out. Go to work. I'm keeping this, I use this as a thimble. I just use the corner of the socket and I stay dead center of this valve here. If you go on the edge, it's not it's gonna be harder on the valve because it slows it down. If you stay dead center, then there's less friction and you can just rock it back and forth. Let me zap some more on there. That looks good right there. Look at that. Out. Wipe her down. See this what this is per here. Okay. Okay, so hoping you can see this, but that light gray section right there, that dull section, that's like 1/8 inch big. That's the section where the two seats are touching. I'm not worried about the dark section, not a bit. Okay. There's nothing that's going to happen there, but all of our action is right there in that dull spot. And you spin it around. Number 3. I used to use the wooden stick with the rubber on there, and I was told by my father-in-law's brother, he had a shop. So he explained this. Man, it takes so much effort out of it. You see the wooden stick with the plunger on it doing this number? The valve does not have to go back and forth. It just needs to rotate. It's just, I mean, you're not gonna sit there and, you know, make it go one direction. So, hence that's why we're just using the drill just to make it easier. And just listen to it, just listen to it work. Well, that's so fast. Pull one of these. Okay, so that dull area right there, okay, is the same area that they were being lapped against. So this area and this area belong together. Okay, so when you put the cream on there, the grinding compound, that's what we're grinding, is this edge and this edge, two pieces of steel together. We get this shaded area right there. So that's what they look like. Here's an intake. Okay. Oops, let's get the camera where you need to go, dumbass. Okay. So then this is the unpolished part. This is the polished part right here. Okay. So now I'm just going to go ahead and flip this back down. I'm going to do the fine polish on these, and then I'm going to call these done. I'm going to set up the other head, and we're going to try a glue stick and see how that works. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, so here's that other method I was talking about. This is what I seen on YouTube. I watched him do it, but he did it on one valve on a small engine, you know, Husqvarna, whatever it is. So I tried it here. Glue stick, okay? Choose, take the torch, you heat the head up here. Take the glue stick and you stick it in there until it actually leaves a nice big puddle where it's gripped on there. Then you take cold water and you cool it down until it stops melting. Okay, so then this is stuck in this place. That works, yes. Okay, so you're wasting MAP gas or propane gas when you don't. It's not necessary. That's money you're burning up, especially if you got to do 16 valves. Okay, so now you got this thing stuck here. Put the drill on here. That's fine. Everything works good. Okay. But what I found is, because I've done this already, is you bring it down here, that adds resistance while that grinding compound is working on the seats. While it's doing that, that's adding resistance to the valve on top of the torque on the melting glue stick here, and it snaps right off. You remelt it, make it a bigger puddle. That's fine until you start adding the torque right here, and this is not designed to take that kind of torque for 16. So by the time you set up 16 times, burn up a lot of MAP gas, and I heat this up and then cool it down, heat it back up, cool it down. My God, it just wasted so much time. So yes, it works. I would not do that. No. I'm going to go back to my little 1/4 inch gas line. Put a bolt in it so it's not going to come out. Okay, I'm going to shove it in there. Okay, there, it didn't cost me anything. All right, got my rag back here. My valve is in there. Okay, I still got oil on it. I put my compound just like I was doing on the other one. Boom. Again, socket for a thimble. Didn't cost me anything. All right. Not knocking the guy. Yeah, it's a way to do that. But to me, no effort here, okay? Nothing snapping off. I don't have to reheat it. I don't have to put water on my job. Okay, so where I left this part of the video was, this is the heads here, and what we're going to finally do now is we're going to do the water test. I've reinstalled the valves. They've already been lapped. You've seen the video on that. The heads went to the shop. They came back. It's painted. And my last part now is I'm going to water test them to make sure that the lapping that I did is cool. And then if that's fine, then these will get dried off and set over to the corner until I get ready to do the rest of it. So with that said, these are the exhaust ports for the right side. You see, there is water coming out. You thought I was just playing around, huh? Okay, so that's the exhaust port. We have this. So let's look together. You're gonna shake a little bit. Let me take this off the stand. Clip off and down. So let's take a look here. Okay. Get the light out of the way. I can get some light for you so you can see. This is a trick all by itself. So we're looking at the one on the left is the smaller one, that is the exhaust port. Okay, looking for water dripping out of there. Okay. And you've seen in the video before how it was just crying out of there, right? Here's my last one here. Okay. There is water down there. Okay, so I'm going to slide this back up here. Boom. Put it in. Now we're going to shoot water down the intake. It's a nice day out. Finally got the doors open, let the garage air out a little bit. Still got a little chill to it, but it's fine. Lost count. 10 more, fine. Okay. Grab the camera. Ta-da. Up and down. Okay, let's get some light. Now we're looking at the one on the right. Those are looking good. Let me do a field test real quick. dry fingers. Okay, so this head is fine. Let's zip over to this side. Let me set a camera up, so hold on a minute. Alright, sorry about that. Had a low battery issue. Okay, so my overall is no. None of them are leaking. So the lapping worked. We're good to go. Let's dump our water out. Can't tell me I didn't have water in there, did you? You would have seen that raining in there. Sit like this. Tell me I didn't have water in there. Alright. So I gotta air them out and put them away. So the heads are ready to install. Ta-ta-da. And that'll be all.